Hello and welcome to Her Story. It's the IIT Bombay Gen Zero project where we bring you the interesting, inspiring, fascinating stories of the early women of IIT Bombay with the idea of not just actually acknowledging the whole body of work that they have to show for themselves, but also very, very importantly, to be sort of like this role model, guiding light for young women who want to enter into the STEM arena or want to go out into the professional world and make a mark for themselves, carve out a unique niche. This is to show you what's really possible. All you have to do is dream and believe and do the hard work. So we've had a number of illustrious guests on our show, and today I'm very, very pleased. It's my absolute honor and privilege to introduce to you Mrs. Girija Ram, and she's got an illustrious career. It's an absolute pleasure to have her on the show. So let me tell you a little bit more about her. She's currently a director at NewGen Digital Works, which is headquartered in Chennai, and that is where I believe Girija is currently, but it has offices internationally in the US, UK, Europe. And she's also the director of the Families Foundation, which is called Bhavita, which is involved with serving the underprivileged in education, health, and nutrition. So one more of our girls going out there and making social impact. So she helps identify projects and nonprofits doing good work and supports the underprivileged financially. So tell you a little bit more about Girija's background in terms of education. She did her master's, which at the time was a dual degree in chemistry if in 1980. And then she did her MBA in marketing and finance from the Indian Institute of Management in Calcutta. And she remembers being one of 5 girls in a 300 strong batch and was one of the speakers at the 50th anniversary of the chemistry department, where she spoke about her eclectic career choices and added that what IITB taught her most was the analytical and problem solving skills, which have served her well over her working career of almost 4 decades. What a run! So, Girija's expertise is in the areas of business strategy and transformation, leadership, management, and she believes very strongly in a show approach rather than tell, walk the talk. There's a fascinating, how should I say, campus couple story that Girija, I'm sure, will share with us. But her husband, Sudhakar Ram, was the co-founder, co-promoter of Mastech, and he was also the chairman and managing director. And after his demise, Girija has stepped onto the board there to be part of really the visionary life, so to speak, of the group at Mastech. So we talked to her about that experience as well. Wow, what a distinguished career of 4 decades and still more to go. There's plenty of fuel out there in the tank. Welcome to the show, Girija.
Thank you, Damini. I am not sure I'm worthy of all your superlative comments, but thank you. I will accept them with grace.
Well, there you go, humility at work. So, what were some challenges that you might have faced when you were there?
Actually, most of the challenges was I came from a small town,
Mm-hmm.
Nagpur. Yeah. Uh, my first experience of staying away from home and also in a big city, like a mega city, was when I came to IIT. uh, the first year of trying to adjust to living my life away from home and be independent, take independent decisions. You know, those days you didn't have mobile phones, you could call up home. So take many decisions independently. Uh, I think, and of course, some of the courses, and physics was really my Achilles heel, if I can say that, especially some of the courses which had a pretty high level of abstraction and take home open book tests. So on an academic front, there were maybe a couple of courses where I really thought that I'm not going to make it. I was so relieved with the passing grade that I got. And on the personal front, it was really that to be able to adjust to living on your own, taking your own decisions, being responsible for yourself. Yeah, all of that was, I think, a challenge in the first year. Yeah. Otherwise, and once you sort of got over that hump, then my mother used to complain that you don't really enjoy coming back home on your holidays. Like,
Okay, so should we come to the rapid fire round?
yeah, sure.
So let's start with the first one, which is I believe.
I believe I can.
If I could, I would.
I would travel the length and breadth of India, the real India, to know about her and learn from her.
Do you do that?
There are two states that my husband and I traveled as part of Bhavita Foundation. I mean, when we came back from our global stints, my husband suddenly had an obsession with Gandhi and he was reading all his books. Yeah, whether it's biography, autobiography, and two states. One is our his Janam Bhumi, as I call it, which is Tamil Nadu, and the second is Maharashtra, his Karma Bhumi. Uh, we have traveled fairly extensively, uh, and it was a very, very. It was a huge learning. I mean, on the field, on the ground, uh, the resilience of a common man, the resourcefulness. We visited many NGOs who were doing groundwork level. So the challenges, some very inspiring people. Uh, so it was a huge, huge learning experience. Uh,
What are you most surprised by?
not so much surprise. I think you get a visceral feel of the reality of when Gandhi said India really lives in our villages, you get a visceral sense of it. I mean, even 40 kilometers away from Mumbai, you can get a visceral sense of it. But I have such respect for the resourcefulness, the native intelligence, and the resilience of the so called common people in this country. I couldn't survive in those kind of environments. I mean, when I say I couldn't survive, I mean the kind of resourcefulness and the skill sets they have, you know, I don't have any of that. My husband and I used to joke, saying, "What if we were, taken and planted in some of these places, saying, go figure out how to live? What would we do?" Therefore, it is.
I'm being unfair on yourself. I think there's something about growing in a certain kind of organic system where the organic learning teaches you how to deal with it. But yeah, I do.
I know, but one is so ill-equipped for the kind of realities that exist there. What I mean by that is, and I really mean it. And the hospitality and the generosity. You've gone to houses where they've been so glad to have us. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I love.
Ah, well, I love classical music and dancing. My daughter and happy children, and in
Mm,
no particular order.
The world needs.
More compassionate and empathetic people.
I'm passionate about.
Watching individuals and organizations transform. That's my passion.
I wish.
I wish I could transform or reshape K to 12 education in India.
To have more of.
To have more of, I foster 4 children. I wish I had the age to foster more.
Wow. Um, if you fall,
Get up. It's part of the growth journey. Get up and get going.
the stuff I don't sweat.
What the world thinks of me.
That's amazing one. Success is.
Making a difference to someone's life.
One thing I wish somebody told me when I was 18.
uh, Cooperation, not competition, is the key to success.
Wise words indeed. The most important thing to remember when I step into work.
Be effective, not efficient.
IIT Bombay to me is.
It's the gorgeous place that transformed me from a caterpillar to a butterfly.
And your message for IIT Bombay.
Uh, all I can say is I haven't kept in touch. Yeah. And I think the responsibility is on both ends. Uh, I am truly appreciative and cognizant of the fact that IIT Bombay does a much better job of STEM education than many of the Ivy League universities in this world. I can also say to IIT Bombay, you can be rightfully proud that it's harder to get into IIT Bombay than it is to a Harvard, Princeton, or Yale.
Indeed, indeed. And they do such a swell job. It's good to see actually that acknowledgement come their way as well, because there's always so much more an institute can do for its student population, for its girl population, for so many areas of outreach. But it's sometimes just nice to take a pause and allow them to take a bow for all the wonderful work that they're doing as well. So thank you so much for doing that for our alma mater today. It has been such a joy, Girija, to talk to you and to get to know you and your life's journey and your message for the girls in STEM, and also really admire some of the work that you've been doing, and especially the last bit that you shared with us about you fostering 4 children. So it's nice to see that. It makes the world a beautiful place. And so we hope what goes around comes around. And thank you so much for joining us on Her Story. It's been a privilege to have you on board.
Thank you, Damini, and I need to thank the Institute for this wonderful opportunity to share my life, my personal and professional journey. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity. Thank you so much.